There was a time when the sweetest sound on a Saturday was the PSSST of a bottle cap popping off. The air smelt of fresh-cut grass, kids were running barefoot on the lawn, and someone'd call out, "Oi, grab a Shellies from the fridge, mate." And for a moment, the world was simple again. Before the big corporations, before everything started tasting the same, Australia had its own flavour. Local, fizzy, and honest. Every town had its own bottler. Every street knew the rattle of the delivery truck. Kids would wait out front with empties in hand, hoping for a smile and a spare bottle. It wasn't just a drink, it was community in a crate. Shellies, born out in Broken Hill back in the late 1800s, captured that spirit first. Bright labels, biting bubbles, and a taste that cut clean through the heat. On the wireless, you'd hear that cheerful jingle. For fun and fizz, say Shellies, please. It was cheeky, cheerful, unmistakably Aussie. Shellies grew, spreading across the states, until in '64 the British tobacco mob bought it up. Soon after, it was folded into Kirk's, Jest, Halls, all those once local names swallowed whole. The flavour hung around a while, but the heart of it drifted off. Now, when someone finds an old Shellies bottle in an op shop, it's like finding a faded photo of Australia's childhood. Down in Victoria, the crown belonged to Tarax, the rebel of the bunch. Tarax was modern, loud, a bit flash. On telly in the '60s you'd see kids dancing, guitars blaring, and the voiceover saying, "It's Tarax time, anytime." Everyone knew the tune. Tarax was the taste of freedom, picnics by the river, parties in the town hall, laughter echoing off the walls. Mums poured it over ice, dads took a swig straight from the bottle and grinned. Fair dinkum, that hits the spot. Then came the big boys. In '72, Cadbury Schweppes bought Tarax, promising the world. New bottles, new slogans, sparkle and zing. New everything. But the old feeling vanished. That sense of local pride, of grabbing a cold one from a servo fridge, cracking it open right there in the car park, gone. Tarax slipped off the shelves, but never out of memory. Some things you just don't forget. Over in Adelaide, the heart belonged to Halls, Geo Hall and Sons. They'd been brewing stony ginger beer since the 1800s. Strong, fiery, honest stuff. You didn't just taste it, you felt it. The old radio ads sang out, "Have a stony, mate, straight from the crate." And people did. Trucks rumbled through dusty streets, the drivers waving to every kid who ran alongside. If you'd swept the footpath that morning, they might leave you a bonus bottle. That was Australia back then, decency with a dash of fizz. When Coca-Cola Amatil finally took over, Halls hung on a bit longer, right up to the year 2000. Now it's mostly a memory. Still, ask anyone in Adelaide and they'll tell you, "Mate, nothing beat a stony on a bloody hot day." That's not marketing. That's heritage. Then there was Lead, the clear, crisp lemonade from Amatil. Its jingle was light and easy. Lead, the lift you need. It was the drink of school fetes, backyard cricket, long drives with the windows down. But by '84, Sprite rolled in, and Lead was quietly shown the door. Sprite was fine, American fine. But it wasn't ours. It didn't taste like the corner milk bar, or the laughter of your cousins on Christmas Arvo. That's what Lead had. Crystal wasn't flashy, no jingles, no billboards, just reliability. Every Friday the truck would pull up, collect the empties, leave new glass bottles cold to the touch. The clink of glass, the hiss of fresh lemonade, a soundtrack to suburbia. Families left bottles on the veranda, trusting they'd be swapped. No receipts, no apps, just trust. Then came plastic, and supermarkets, and silence. When Crystal vanished, so did that quiet rhythm of neighbourhood life. Over west, there was Jest, a small name with a big heart. the ad line went. Go get Jest, the best from the West. Simple, proud, straight from the sand-girt city of Perth. It didn't last, folded into Kirk soon enough, but folks who grew up there still smile when they hear the name. Because Jest wasn't just a drink, it was belonging in a bottle. And then Marchants, the mighty one. Across Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia, Marchants meant quality. You'd see it painted on old brick walls. Marchants means quality. It was part of life. Family lunches under the gum trees, the gentle fizz in the glass beside roast lamb. When Shellies bought it, people hoped it'd make both stronger. But it was the start of the end, the local giants eating each other before the world ate them all. Soon the trucks stopped rolling, and Marchants joined the others in memory. Swing was the friendly face of the suburbs. Weekly deliveries, green bottles, wooden crates. The driver in his sky blue uniform, always with a wink and a g'day. The jingle, swing by every week, freshness you can taste. It wasn't just a slogan, it was a promise kept. Then supermarkets took over, and convenience replaced connection. When swing stopped knocking, something inside the country went quiet too. Cotties survived, kind of. These days it's all cordials and dessert toppings, but once it was the heartbeat of Australian soft drinks. In the 60s, the ad proudly declared, Cotties, the taste that says Australia. And it did. Cotties sat in every kitchen, beside the biscuit tin and the family radio. Owned by Aussies, made by Aussies, drunk by everyone. Then came the mergers, and the accent faded from its flavour. Yet even now, that logo still tugs at something deep, a reminder that home once had its own taste. And then there was Passiona, golden, tropical, loud. The smell of real passion fruit, the colour of the sun itself. On TV, bronze surfers and laughing teens shouted over the waves. Taste the summer, taste Passiona. And every Australian knew exactly what that meant. It wasn't just a drink, it was a feeling. Hot sand, sea breeze, sticky fingers, and that first icy sip that made the world shimmer. Passiona still exists, technically, but the one we remember lived in a different time, when joy came in glass, not plastic. One by one, they vanished. Shellies, Tarax, Halls, Lead, Crystal, Jest, Marchants, Swing, Cotties, Passiona. Together they drew the flavour map of a nation. Each one a landmark in our story, fizzy, fleeting, unforgettable. They remind us of an Australia that was closer, kinder, slower. An Australia of smiling delivery men, jingles on the wireless, and bottles that always came home again. Today the shelves are full, but the flavour feels empty. And so, among dusty crates and faded posters, this journey ends. But not really, because these weren't just soft drinks, they were memories poured into glass. Moments of sunshine, friendship, and laughter that still bubble up when we least expect. Back when the country still fit inside a single street, and the future tasted like passion fruit, ginger, and sugarcane. Close your eyes, and maybe you can still hear it. It's Tarax time, anytime. Maybe you can see the swing truck turning the corner, bottles clinking. Maybe you can smell the ginger beer, the fizz in the summer air. Simple things, yet they remind us of something progress never bottled, belonging. Because in the end, what Shellies and Tarax and Halls left behind wasn't just flavour, it was a way of living. A country that shared a moment, a sip, a season, together. And when those memories return, they bring with them the quiet streets, the neighbours' laughter, the sunlight catching the glass, proof that once we belonged to something honest and true. So if any of these memories made you smile, hold on to it. Share it. Tell someone younger what it tasted like. Because every time an Aussie remembers these names, they come alive again, fizzy, golden, and proud. Maybe that's the real flavour of Australia, not in the bottles or the brands, but in the stories we still tell, and the memories we'll never let fade away.